What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Big Stacks Porzingis, Pee Wee the Plug, 1/4 through the wire, #1 Knicks fan in the world, aka Mr. Know It All, and we back with another position. First and foremost, the last one we did was the perfect point guard. If you're new and didn't get a chance to see it, please go recap it in the previous videos. I want to give a special thank you to all of my subscribers and everybody who showed a lot of love and enjoyed that series. And shout out to the people that gave me the idea to make this a 5-position series. I've had other people give other ideas, like making a perfect role player. I saw somebody say making a perfect starting 5. So we got a lot of ideas that are probably going to, come to life after the start of the perfect point guard. And I got nobody to thank but you guys for all the constant support, all of the feedback, and even the ideas like I just mentioned. I think one of the things that should have happened in the point guard series, which is what I'm about to do now, is basically a prelude episode. So before we dive into the actual season and start simulating games and having gameplay and doing all of that, this video is going to be a prelude video to basically explain everything and all of the decisions that went into creating the quote-unquote perfect shooting guard. A lot of people was confused with the point guard one. They didn't really understand the rules or the mindset that I had when creating the perfect point guard. So I just want to let you guys into my psyche and my thought process of how I'm constructing these perfect players. First and foremost is the format, right? The format is I'm picking all current players. So I think that's a big thing that needs to be understood. Every time I do one of these, or if I put a poll up, or if I reveal who I'm using for what part of the player, people have like a confusion, or they're quick to throw out names that are just not current players. And for some reason, people don't see the pattern that every player that I picked is a current player. And then number 2, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people don't catch on to is that every player is only being used once. You know what I mean? I'm not going to use James Harden for 5 out of the 10 categories of the perfect shooting guard. It's just, it gets repetitive. It kind of gets boring. And y'all know me. I like to make things fun, different, so it doesn't get, kind of boring in the process. So first and foremost, the breakdown of the player. I came up with another new name. The point guard was the best. For the shooting guard, we're using above you. That's just, I don't know, it just came to my mind when I was creating them, and that's how we rocking out. Now, what I do want to tell y'all is if y'all do have any names for the future players that are in the game, names that are in the game so that they can pronounce it, like above is right there. Because some of y'all was suggesting names that just isn't in the game, and I don't want to hear, number 0. So, above you, the best, creative ways to make these creative names while using the generated names that's already implemented in the game. So above you is his name, Michigan State. I created him October 14th. So that's going to be his birthday. He's 18 years old. Got to make him super young. And all of this doesn't matter, right? So next is the body. We went with 6'7", 215. I may even go 220. Let's make him big and strong. As y'all can see by some of the accessories and everything too, we have the whole, wristband with the Jordan calf, the Hirachi 2K4s, which are my personal favorite. And I think what I'll do is y'all suggest what shoe y'all want for the away. I'm not sold on a Kobe. I put the Kobe on there because I kind of gave the tribute to like Kobe and Jordan with like the band and then the leg thing. I was gonna put a knee sleeve on them because that's what Kobe had, but I'm like, let me just do the Jordan thing and look a little bit more cooler. Y'all was saying in the previous series that y'all wanted to see a little bit more swag on them. And this is my attempt. My swag is just keep it cool, clean, and sleek. I don't really do the whole headband, arm sleeve. You gotta keep it. You gotta be sleek. You gotta fit. You gotta be perfect. You gotta work. You can't just be throwing a bunch of shit on and calling it swag or sauce, whatever term y'all use in these newer times. You know what I mean? I know I'm old like a dinosaur, but that's how we rock it. We got the short shorts. That's definitely part of the swag. Having the short shorts like we in the 90s. And then attributes. one of the biggest things. So this is how we can go into everybody and everything. Now, the attributes are spread across, right? So there's no way for me to pinpoint every single thing. And actually, what we'll do is I gotta make sure that I don't miss anybody or miss anything. But for the most part, the IQ is what we'll start with. That was James Harden. So everything as far as scoring IQ, offensive IQ is James Harden. So you see the pass IQ is a 98, shot IQ is gonna be a 98. That's specifically James Harden. Now, when you look at the dunking stats, like 95 drive dunk or 88 drive and layup, that is athleticism from Zach LaVine. When you see the shooting, the 56 close shot is severely low, but you got the 87 mid, the 93, and then the 90 free throw. That comes from JJ Redick. A lot of people was confused on why we had JJ Redick shooting and not Klay Thompson. The reason being is because we took Klay Thompson's clutchness and we put that on him. So since we used Klay Thompson for the clutchness, we put JJ Redick. The other guys that were in competition with JJ was Duncan Robinson, and there was one more. I can't remember. Maybe it was Tyler Hero, but it was like JJ Redick, Duncan Robinson, maybe Tyler Hero. I went with JJ Redick. Ball handle. A lot of people I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but a few people, which I was surprised by, didn't understand why I had Paul George. I even had somebody say that Paul George handle is sus, which is one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard in a while. And I shout out to the people that was like, what are you talking about? And as we can see, 2K has Paul George with an 89 handle, which is one of the highest shooting guard handles, probably behind Harden. So yeah, Paul George. The reason we went with Paul George with the handle is because, like I said, James Harden, I'd rather use his IQ, because there's not a lot of guys who are going to have a 98 pass IQ, 98 shot IQ, as high as that. So I'd rather use Harden there, and then we can just still use Paul George 89 handle to work well. We still good. Like, it's a give and take when we create these players. It's a give and take. So I would rather have the highest part of a player and then get something else that's still going to be high. So we went, and that's another thing I kind of want to ask y'all too, if y'all can put in the comments, if there's any way that y'all can, in an attribute way, contribute to clutchness. Because when I take clutches from players, I just take some badges. But if there's an attribute that y'all think should go into clutchness, y'all let me know, because that was another big thing about it. Passing came from Luka. So when you see pass vision, which is a 92, we have pass accuracy, which was kind of low to me at 81, but I'll take it. That comes from Luka. And then on the defensive end, we had, who did I have for defense? I got my stuff right here. Gotta check who we have for defense, because for some reason my mind is a little blank. But for defense, we had Jaylen Brown. We had Jaylen Brown for defense. His interior defense was a 70. And then his perimeter defense was an 87. Now, what I was surprised to find out when doing this is that Jason Tatum has a higher perimeter defense than Jaylen Brown. I went with Jaylen Brown because I felt like he was going to be very superior defensively. But for some reason, 2K, I guess, just dropped. He's one of the guys 2K maybe dropped the ball on as far as accurate attributes. Because I would say Jaylen Brown is the superior perimeter defender than Jason Tatum. That's just me. His block is a 47, steal is a 46. I was kind of disappointed when I selected him and then went to do, because I select the players and then I go and get their attributes. So I was a little disappointed to see that he was only a 47 and 46, and then his shot contest was 89. So that's cool. This player won't be as good defensively as the best, but I think he's going to be a lot better offensively. Especially with his size, which I think, we already got to. He's 6'7". Lateral quickness, Donovan Mitchell. We got our speed from Donovan Mitchell. So 86, 96 speed with Donovan Mitchell. 83 ball speed. Didn't think Donovan Mitchell's ball speed would be that low, but I'll take it. We also got the 90 acceleration, and then the 97 vertical from Zach LaVine. Also the 44th strength from Zach LaVine, athleticism, and then the 98 stamina from Zach LaVine. And then last but not least, we got the 90 hustle from Marcus Smart. I shout out to all the Boston Celtics fans. Y'all went crazy when I did the point guard thing, asking why I didn't have Marcus Smart defense, hustle, blah, blah, blah. We have him in the shooting guard one. Looking back on it, if I would have known that Jaylen Brown's defensive attributes were going to be as, disappointing as they were, I probably would have just used Marcus Smart as an overall defender, because I believe attribute-wise on 2K, he blows Jaylen Brown out of the water. But that's a mistake that I'll just take the blame for. Durability, I don't really use durability. I just keep it like standard. And in fact, what I need to do is make sure I put all of these, when I'm creating a player, or like players, like when I'm putting through the wire and all of us in the game, I try to keep the durability high, unless we have something in real life. So Kenny has a shoulder thing, I'll probably make that lower than the rest. If like my ankle thing, I'll probably make it lower than the rest. But for the most part, I try to keep everything 85 to 90, just so we don't have, we don't want to create a player and he's out here getting hurt or just not durable with his left foot. Like, imagine me not paying attention to this, and we're simming and he has a left foot injury that's constantly ruining the sim. That would be no fun. Pass perception, again, is Jaylen Brown. Defensive consistency, all of these things are just Jaylen Brown. 84 pick and roll defense. Offensive consistency, I might take that and put that into clutchness. Y'all let me know what category you want me to put offensive consistency. Like, what should that be under? Should that be under Clay's clutchness? Should that be under Harden's IQ? Should that be under JJ Redick's shooting? Should we take that from Devin Booker because of his mentality? And I think that would just be all of it. Offensive consistency. Y'all let me know who I should take from, and then I take the intangibles and potential and I make them a 99. So that's the attribute part of our player, who is a 96. He's a 94 or 96 overall player. Tendencies. I'll go over the tendencies with y'all so y'all can see for yourselves everything. The most part, like how he's shooting, is nothing. I got him taking a majority threes, some mid-range shots and whatnot, driving left and all that, y'all see. But actually shooting the ball, we have him at 97. It's at a 97, which basically is saying 97% of the time he's going to shoot that motherfucker. And that's what we want him to be. As a shooting guard, I want him to shoot that ball. I definitely have, as you can see, dish to open man is a 50. He's going to make the right play. I'm actually going to put it to the 60. If the right play is available, he won't hesitate to make the play. But for the most part, he's going to take the shots and he's going to get 95% of the touches. He's just going to be that. And I'm actually glad we put it here, because I want to touch some of this stuff up. ISO versus elite defender. He's going to ISO 75% of the time. Even if it's against Kawhi Leonard, he'll ISO him. ISO against a good defender, we're going to put it 80. Against the average, 85. And then if he gets a poor defender on him, he's going to isolate on that poor defender 97% of the time. Just go at him. So this guy he's going to be looking to score and having scorer's mentality, play discipline. I'll put 50% of the time he'll play discipline. Other than that, he's going to be looking to get buckets and win us the game. Y'all, everybody knocking LeBron for not having the Kobe or Jordan mentality. This dude is going to have beyond that mentality, because we just want to live with him taking and making all of those shots. Defense, he's just going to be an aggressive defender. He's not going to chase too many block shots because his block is not high, but he's going to contest shots. He's going to go for on-ball steals. He'll take the charge if necessary, and he's going to be in the passing lanes to get interceptions. And that's pretty much it with the tendencies for the most part. All the other tendencies y'all probably don't care about. I probably don't care about my damn self. Hot zones. Corners, he's going to knock you down if you pay for them. That's that Klay Thompson shooting, whatever. Then the top of the key for isolation reasons. We're going to get him isolated at the top of the key, and boom, pick your poison. He's going to knock you down from 3 up there, or he can get you from the mid and all of the center areas. So he's just going to be ridiculous. And that's where I got a lot of the tendencies to shoot. He's going to shoot a lot of threes, and then I got some mid-range for him, so I made those as hot zones. And then last but not least, one of the most important things that y'all talked about in the last series was the badges. Badges. Last series I started off And I think the point guard maybe had about 13 badges. Then I upped it and it was like 20 something or something. This dude has probably about 47 badges, close to 50 badges, because I looked and I saw every elite player, and even the guys that are a little bit lower than elite, maybe all-star verge, all-star level shooting guards, they all have at least about 30, 35 badges. Then the elite guys have about 44, 45. So I put him in the 40s. We have 10 categories, which is 10 players, and I took about 4 badges from each player to make sure he at the least had 40 badges. So when we talk about mentality, personality, I went and got the Devin Booker. So he has the alpha dog because that's what Devin Booker got. He has keep it real. He has expressive. Those are all of the badges that I went and got for personality wise when we talk about mentality. And then the shooting, he got gold acrobat, inside scoring, gold acrobat, gold relentless finisher. These would be probably a consistent finisher, contact finisher, gold, cross key score. These are from a mix of players. Some of these are Zach LaVine, some of these are Jaylen Brown. Fancy Footwork Hall of Fame is James Harden. Like I said, I took every player that we had and we used, and I took 4 badges from them each, no matter what the section was. It could be defense, inside scoring, anything. Hall of Fame ankle breaker obviously is James Harden. We got some playmaking, gold flashy passer, gold dimer, silver bailout. These are just all from a mix of players. Obviously, when you see Hall of Fame, you know that's probably from James Harden and whatnot. Space Creator Hall of Fame, but everything else is just a mix of all the players. So some of these silver badges probably came from somebody like Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown. They didn't really have too many Hall of Fame badges, anything like that. Gold is from Clay. When you see gold catch and shoot, gold corner specialist, gold clutch shooter, gold deadeye, definitely Clay type badges. Defense, Marcus Smart, Paul George, Jaylen Brown, you know, and that's just what it was. We got a wide mix of badges, and then that's pretty much it. So like I said, Prelude episode, just to give y'all an overview of the player, the legit player, because a lot of y'all had a lot of different questions and a lot of different, why is it like this and why didn't you do this? So now you know, and going forward for the next 3 positions or wherever else we take it, whether we do perfect role player, perfect starting 5, just perfect overall team, now you'll have an idea of what type of, mindset we need to have when we're creating the perfect quote-unquote player at this position or that position going forward. So the next time, like this position, I kind of just did on myself. I just went for it and just did it myself. In the future, if we do have polls again, like we did with the point guard position, you'll understand what mindset we're using, because a lot of people on Twitter just picking shit, just going whatever. And I see dialogue and debates about what I'm thinking and how it's supposed to be. Now you know. It's current players, 1 player per category, simple. And yes, there's going to be players for each position, like a James Harden, who can cover multiple things. James Harden, you can use him for shooting, you can use him for IQ, you can probably use him for passing if you want to. But since it's 1 player per category, we're going to use his biggest strength compared to the other players. You might think his biggest strength is outside scoring, but if we use James Harden for outside scoring, we'll probably have to use somebody else for IQ, whose IQ just wouldn't be as high as his. So I'd rather use not only one of his best attributes, but his attribute that he's kind of got like a wide margin against everybody else. So for example, when we use James Harden for IQ, boom, we can't use him for handle, we're still fine. We still have an 89 handle. We'll pick another guy who has a good handle. We use Klay Thompson for clutches because I don't see anybody else in the shooting guard position who can be classified as clutch as Klay Thompson. That's fine, because we still can use JJ Redick shooting, which is there's no drop off. It's still elite shooting from 3-point perimeter. So that's just all that it is. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm very excited for y'all to watch the first and official episode, because we'll be breaking down the actual team that we'll have this perfect shooting guard playing with, and I think it's something y'all are not expecting. It's super unique, super nice, and super special. So y'all make sure y'all get ready and tune into that. And lastly and finally, let's start hitting goals. Let's making sure that we're getting, at least 100 likes to 200 likes and getting 1,000 views in like the first day. If we can get 100 to 200 likes and 1,000 views on the first day that these videos drop, you'll get one the next day. As long as we hit those goals, I'll everyday upload. But the moment we don't, that's fine. But we probably just won't get one. Like, I gotta make sure that we hitting goals and we doing what we gotta do before we release the next video. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Excited as always, and I love y'all. Pee Wee, I'm out.